Hey y'all, what's up? Coach Hyde coming. So this is the second part of the lipid series. There'll be three parts. The first part was triglycerol, which are fats, which are used for storage and insulation, blubber, right? Today we're talking about waxes and cholesterol, and then the next series will be what's left, uh, phospholipids. So waxes, steroids. Real quick, real fast. Not going into a whole lot of depth on these. We're going to focus more on the triglycerides and the phospholipids for now. But just kind of quick, all right, wax is just a simple lipid. All right, it's not complicated. It's just a fatty acid, which you know about those, and an alcohol. Alcohol really is just a fatty acid. It's a hydrocarbon where you got a hydroxide instead of a hydrogen in one of the spots. But it's just, for our purposes right now, it's basically the same thing to visualize in your head with one little different piece on a hydrogen. So it's just a real simple lipid chain with pretty long 24 to 32 carbons on the alcohol or something. I mean, just a long lipid. That's pretty much it about wax. Is really what we're going to go to. Just knowing it's a lipid, knowing it's just a simple, basic lipid structure. Some of the uses, it doesn't really matter the application or what is using it, but the application is always going to kind of deal with, you know, I don't know how to spell repellent, ANT maybe. So water repellent or you know prevent water loss. So some leaves or seeds will be waxy to prevent them from drying out in the sun. Right? You need the water content in the leaves for those processes to work that we'll learn about later on in the year. But we need to keep the water inside the leaves. Also, it doesn't help. When it rains and stuff, it kind of helps push the water down towards the roots so the plant can take in that water. Seeds, if they dry out, they'll die. They won't germinate. Um, okay, hang on just a minute. Feathers could have a waxy-like substance on it, especially feathers used for flying. Just think about it. If a duck's wings got wet and it soaked up the water, then it wouldn't be able to fly out of the water. That wouldn't work very good for the duck. Bees have a waxy honeycomb structure, beeswax. So you're dealing with water repellent, water retention, stuff like that when you're talking about waxes. That's their natural, remedy. Um, Steroids. All right, so you'll see there's four kind of shapes. One, two, three, four. These carbon rings, and they're fused together. So the basic state, let's say steroid is. It could be. I meant right cholesterol, right? All right, so my bad. Been a long day. Been one of them long days, right? So we're talking about cholesterol. Four fused carbon rings. That's what's going to make a cholesterol. One, two, three, four. Now, steroids written up there. Cholesterol is used to make steroids. So, you could argue that a cholesterol is a monomer. No, it's a building block of steroids. It's a precursor of steroids. Um, the thing about cholesterol is too much cholesterol is bad, right? And the older you get, the more you'll hear about it. But your body makes all the cholesterol you need. All right, your body makes cholesterol so that your body can make steroids and some of your hormones, your sex and your stress hormones. But what cholesterol does in this form, right, can kind of lodge into cell membranes and kind of make it more able to allow stuff to pass through or more resistant to things passing through. So that's kind of the purpose of the cholesterol and to make steroids and stuff. Problem is, if you eat too much of it in your diet, it can start to clog up your blood vessels and stuff like that. And that's why a lot of people have heart attacks, heart disease, stuff like that. Cholesterol is a lipid, um, just like your other saturated fats and such. If you eat a lot of saturated fats and whole fat dairy products, so animal fats, whole fat dairy products, you're getting a lot of cholesterol and unhealthy fats with it. So the best way to limit your intake of cholesterol is to limit your consumption of red meat and whole fat dairy products. I guess that's about it, really. Wax cholesterol, very basic. Just understanding they are lipids. They have some of the same properties of lipids. They have different structures than each other, or the triglycerides or the phospholipids. So they have different functions. Um, that's it. Go to part 3 for phospholipids.